Sambonani Dumelang Absheni, hello. Da. My name is Tshego Magome, and today is a very interesting day for us. Not only do we have a phenomenal woman who's doing incredible things with us in studio, we have quite a lot to talk about. All right, so my guest for today, or rather, I will be interviewing uSiphesihle Ndlovu. She's a teacher, a poet, and an author of Isibindi, sikaSiwe, eLokishini. It's a novella. So today we're going to be, having a little bit of a chit chat with her in terms of what encouraged her to actually start writing and what is it about Siwe's courage. That's exactly what we're going to be finding out. And do stay tuned as we will be getting to know her and getting to know all the aspects that have been delivered into this beautiful piece that she has delivered for us. Ladies and gentlemen, without wasting any time, sikaSiwe Ndlovu.
Thank you.
Please tell us about your book.
The name of the book is Isibindi, sikaSiwe, eLokishini. It means Siwe's courage in her township. It's a teen novel and it's basically a fictional story which takes us on a life journey of this little girl called uSiwe. When we first meet her, she is 9 years old. She lives with her grandmother and her mom. So her mother works at a local factory, so she's not usually home in most of the times. And her grandmother has opened up a shebeen or a sporty in their home where she sells alcohol and African beer. So Siwe is required to help her by serving, by selling, by cleaning up, obviously. So it's evident that Siwe is exposed to a very toxic environment where she has to interact with drunkards every day, and the language used in a shebeen is not very suitable for a child her age. So the story begins when little Siwe is very troubled. She's keeping a secret. She's carrying a burden because a man who's friends with her grandmother is sexually molesting her. And she's not really sure what's happening. She's not sure if it's a bad or a good thing, if they're in a relationship, or if she really needs to tell someone, so she's very confused. But one particular Friday, when her school had invited a team from the department to come and educate the learners about different types of abuse, it was when, after the awareness campaign, she realized that what's been happening to her was actually abuse. So she decided to tell her grandmother first. So when she told her grandmother, not only didn't she believe her, but she gave her the worst hiding of her life and accused her of being a forward child and told her that she needs to be ashamed for saying those type of things or those type of words to her. So she felt very embarrassed and very sad, and she just decided not to tell anyone ever again. And she just tried to suppress it, and but eventually when the story carries on, moves on, we find that she eventually tells, even though so much had happened, but she eventually gets help. So the story or the book has so many life lessons, so many life lessons, and it touches on topics such as, obviously abuse, bullying, choosing friends, bad friends and good friends, dealing with anxiety at school, and choosing subjects for your career, all those type of things, boyfriends, girlfriends. Obviously it's a teen novel, so it has some of that drama, and it's very educational and very inspirational. You will definitely be happy in some parts, be angry, laugh at some parts, be inspired. You'll definitely be inspired by this gripping novel.
What inspired you to write, to write about this book in terms of the topic, in terms of, what motivated you? What zeal did you have in terms of, what? Did you wake up this morning and say, I'm going to write a book? Or what actually inspired you to write this book?
In 2015, I created a play or a drama for my grade 3 learners in South Africa, which they competed in the local district. They won, and then in the main district, they came out second. So the idea has always been there. It has always been there, and then I just expanded on it in the book. And what inspired me was, as I told you before, I was a teacher in South Africa for 6 years, and I taught in 3 different schools. And in those 3 different schools, there were always incidents of abuse, especially to girl children or girl learners in the schools. So, it broke my heart to see such atrocities still happening to this young generation, to these kids we are teaching. Kwangiphoxa nje ngempela ukuthi how namanje kusaqhubeka lento ngangithi mina into seyadlula noma yenzeka ngezikhathi zethu sadila ngayo, especially because in our generation we had abo soul city, abo soul buddies, sifundiswa ngalezi zinto. Even the curriculum itself had abo life orientation la kwakufundiswa khona about these type of things. So kwakungidida ngempela ukuthi ngabe obani, because ngokubona kwami I thought laba abantu babekwenza mhlambe sebashona noma sebaguga noma sebaboshwa, yayibona leyo nto. So kwakungidida ngempela ngiyibuza ukuthi obani, is it the people from our generation laba babefundiswa kangaka abenza lezi zinto einganeni zethu? So nje it sparked that in my mind ukuthi yazi ukuthini, let me just put everything that's been worrying me in this project ukuthi ngize ngenze leli book. So it inspired me ukuthi ngenze le ncwadi.
What made you decide to write this novella in isiZulu? Don't you think you should have catered for like a wide range of people, seeing that you're from South Africa and we have gazillion languages? Why isiZulu?
What I didn't tell you is that I initially wrote the whole manuscript in English first. So before I even thought of translating the story, it was in English, and I was very happy about it. I really wanted to publish it in English. And then there's another story behind it, and it's so funny because I'm not sure if maybe authors can relate to it, but before I even thought about writing this book, I was sleeping, and then just, like a divine spirit or a divine intervention, I don't know how to call it, just woke me up and say, write. Just woke me up and then say, go and write. And it was during lockdown South Africa, so I had all the time in the world. I wasn't working, I was at home. So, vuga ubale, and then I just vuga and ballad. And then I wrote, I think the first day I wrote the whole chapter. The first chapter, that is. So, yeah, that's how it all began. And I wrote it in English for the whole 3 months. I took about 3 months to finish the whole thing, and then I edited for about a month, because editing is also another, project on its own. So when I was done, again, I was happy. I slept, and, just thanking God that I'm done with this project. I'll just look for publishers and then, editors. I slept again, and then that divine spirit came again. And then, just told me, lalela ubhalela abantu base township la ukhuluma ngengane eLokishini. Why can't you translate the story into isiZulu? We've had so many English novels, English teen novels. Why can't you just, create a Zulu teen novel for a change? So then that's how it all started. That's how I decided to just, create it in isiZulu. It was a very challenging part of my writing, because just thinking Zulu, or you can speak it, you can write it. When it comes to writing, or especially translating, so I had to just consult help from many Zulu experts, many editors who helped me greatly, especially with advising me with some parts of the language, because mina ngokukhathala kwami, ngokukhathala endleleni, I just, just Google translated some of the stuff, and then bekubonakala when an experienced editor or an experienced publisher read it, bekubonakala ukuthi okay, la akhambi kahle, akukhulunywa kanjena ngesiZulu. So they helped me so much with editing, with the grammar, with the sentence constructions. That's why sesila sesibonga nje ukuthi sesifikile, and then the book is out and it's readable. So that's how the Zulu journey began and how we are here right now.
Was the main character inspired by a real person? If so, who? Ubani? We want to know.
Not necessarily. The main character was not inspired by a real person. However, they are inspired by real life events, real life people that have experienced abuse in their life. So she just represents that girl without a voice in the township, in South Africa as a whole, that has, that doesn't have courage to speak out and to, achieve their dreams. So that's it. Yes, that's it.
Which character do you relate to the most, and why?
So I think I relate to most of the characters that I created in the story. I think there's some part of my personality with each and every one of them. Singabala nje, there's Siwe, obviously the main character is Taringi, and then there's Mimi, her best friend, and then another friend of theirs, Milo. So Mimi is a very assertive, very confident, go-getter girl. She's, she has a good heart. I think I do possess some of those qualities. And then there's Siwe, who's very courageous, like the book says, but a bit shy and not very, outspoken. She's not very articulate at expressing herself vocally. And she's a panic freak, just like me, giving tatazela, and she's very anxious, and then there's Milo. Milo has a very good sense of humor. I think I have a sense of humor also. So I do possess a bit of those qualities from each character. I do relate to them.
Are there any surprises that a reader should expect, in the novella?
A surprise would be a poem that I wrote in 2016. It's recited by the main character Usiwe in an event in the story. So in one of the chapters, there's an event, African event. So she recites that poem, and then the famous poet is definitely me, and there's my name there. So yeah, that would be a surprise for the readers. And if you wanna guess the poem, you can go to my Instagram and then just choose and just think and just, see if you can find the poem that is in the book.
Do you have anything else that you're working on? Another book, maybe?
Not currently. I've been so busy with this project, sikaSiwe. I didn't have time to even look at other things. However, I do have some projects engawashiya elenga, like 2 children's books, even though engagabe my children's books because they haven't been edited and they need illustrations, and publishing, of course. But not anything at the moment.
Okay, Sipe, last but not least, what advice would you give to other aspiring authors? I mean, it really takes time, preparation, thoughts, creativity. So it's not really an easy thing to do. What advice would you give for up and coming, or even for the ones that have already, been established?
The advice I'd give an aspiring author would be just, do your research about writing. Firstly, just do the research about writing. because there are many sources of information you can get even from the internet. There are online workshops, there are physical workshops that, you know, advise you on children's literature, on how to write children's literature, novel writing, drama writing, non-fiction writing. So that would really be of help to you. And then just do your research even about your topic that you are passionate about. There's so many writers or authors that have written about them. Just look, you know, not that, you know, you need to compare or feel discouraged because maybe they were the best sellers and then you think maybe they've said enough. No, if you have something you're passionate about, just please write on it. There's definitely someone who will read it. You know, if you have an idea, anything you'd like to share, just do it. Keep doing it, you know, don't give up. See, South Africa, sibangena.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you sign, seal, and deliver a beautiful piece of authenticity. The name is sikaSiwe and I am Tshego Magome. Make sure you catch me across all social media platforms at Tshego Magome. It's been lovely serving you guys with nothing but amazing talent. Until next time, peace out.